Today, we are going to talk about where to learn marketing in 2023. So every year we like to do an episode like this where we talk about different spots. Neil and I are reading different things. We're watching different things. We're talking to different people, and we like to share. So I'm going to share one that I've already shared before. I'm going to share two that I've shared before just to kick things off. One is Stacked Marketer. I think it's a great newsletter to read on kind of the newest with marketing. I also like the Demand Curve newsletter. So that's from another agency, or they're kind of like, they do courses at agency. So Demand Curve is also really good as well. And I'll cheat again. I'll add a third one. I really like reading, maybe like every 2 weeks or so, I'll check out Wall Street Journal and just read the CMO Today just to see what's going on. So I can see what's going on at like more of like an enterprise level. So I'll just lead off with those three to start. Neil?
So I'm going to actually just focus on one for this. I'll actually give you two. One is learning, one is implementing. Eric and I have both talked about this in the past. If you really want to learn marketing, I believe this is true in 2023, just as much as I did in 2022, and it's actually easier in 2023, is if you really want to learn marketing, the way Eric and I learned, and a lot of the other marketers we know, is we just practice on our own website. And if you don't want to create a website, don't go volunteer and work on someone else's website for free. You can hit up a lot of people, say, hey, I'll be an intern, I'll work for free, and you actually can learn quite a bit. But still, nothing beats running your own website. And that beats for sure, running your own website beats for sure working for someone else, because you can run whatever experiments you want on your own website while you have some constraints when it's someone else's website. And pop up a WordPress site, go to Bluehost or DreamHost or WP Engine or wherever you want. We love DreamHost. Go set up a website, then and a WordPress site. You can use some plugins to get a lot of stuff done. And then you can use a lot of AI tools to actually create content for you, like ChatGPT. Even though it's not perfect, you may have to modify it. There's a lot of plugins like the All-in-One SEO or Yoast SEO, and just start experimenting. Experiment with paid ads. A lot of hosting providers will probably like $50 for free for Facebook ads or Google ads. I would also start experimenting with conversion rate optimization once your traffic goes up, organic social media, reels, shorts, all that kind of stuff, and just see what's working and what's not. That to me is really the best way to learn marketing, and try to grow your traffic and have goals on how many conversions can I have? How many visitors can I have? How much revenue can I end up driving? How many upsells and downsells? These are all things that are super important to marketing. The other thing that I would do is I would just, and this is the second one, and this is a learning one, I would just watch a ton of YouTube videos. There's YouTube videos on everything. It's better than going to college. Look for the most recent ones because they have the most up-to-date tactics with the latest algorithm changes. That's what I would focus on. Those two things is how I would learn marketing today if I was starting from scratch. And the other thing, and if I had to give a third one, Eric, I bet you're going to agree with this one, is working at an agency teaches you a lot about marketing, because what works for one industry may not work for another. Or you could learn something from a random industry that you never would have expected, and you can apply it to all the other ones out there and see if it actually carries through and works. And when you work at an agency, you see so many different clients, so many different use cases, so many different marketing strategies and tactics. You end up learning a lot.
Yep. So here's what I'll say. I mean, there's a point where you can overlearn and become a professional student. And then at that point, you're just investing all your time into courses and like a lot of money. And it's like, where did that get you? But I want to give some more kind of practical learning pieces. So Neil talked about YouTube, right? So obviously you can follow the Marketing School YouTube channel. Haha, hint, hint. You can check out Neil's Recovered YouTube channel. That's one. You can check out my Leveling Up YouTube channel. That's another one. I do like Matt Diggity. He's got some good SEO stuff. Like it's when I watch, I'm like, oh, this is good stuff, man. Reps has some good stuff from time to time too. And there's a host of other ones. Like obviously you can follow the people that are good at, they're good at shorts, they're good at Instagram or whatever. Vanessa Lau, in the Leveling Up group, she's great too. So I think the key thing here is you can go down the rabbit hole, but just make sure that I would learn, execute. Because I remember when I worked for an agency, to Neil's point, I learned a lot. I think I must have had 15 clients on me. And I think Toyota was one of the clients, and I had like a bunch of other ones. And I was just learning a lot. And I kept wanting to try new things, because I would read a lot of things and I want to try things on the clients, right? And so you could work at an agency and you could experiment on clients. That's kind of that's an open canvas for you. But I learned the most when I built my own sites, right? So that was me, to Neil's point, like finding a great host like DreamHost, finding the hosting, finding the right WordPress theme, trying out a lot of different things, finding the right plugins, rankings, getting my site torched, finding the right content writers, the right designers. You have to figure everything out, and you almost become a mini entrepreneur there. And that's where you're going to learn the most.
Wait, how many sites have you gotten torched?
Like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
You got more.
I don't have the exact count. It's more than 5 for sure. But this is not a good thing that Eric and I are saying. We're not saying get your site torched. But the cool thing is we learned a lot about marketing by getting our own sites torched.
What do you mean? What do we mean by getting torched?
By getting torched, we mean like blackball, like Google won't rank you. Facebook doesn't want to share content from your website anywhere. Like that's what we mean torch, in which the platforms just don't like your website. A great example of this is Andrew Tate, right? A lot of the platforms out there have just banned anything Andrew Tate related that at least he posts, although I don't think he posts anymore. Nonetheless, the point we're getting at is when you get your website torched, it sucks. You shouldn't do things that are short term, but learning what the platform is like and don't like, what sites that you don't care about, is a really great way to figure out the boundaries as a marketer. And when Eric and I get sites torched, just to be super clear here,
we haven't done this for over 10 years though, over like 15 years maybe.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
When Eric and I have gotten sites torched, just to be super clear here, we're not posting offensive content or anything like that, like Andrew Tate's doing. Instead, we've gotten most of our sites torched in the past. Again, this was 10 plus years ago, because we're really aggressive marketers and we're messing around with the algorithms and we're trying to find ways to cheat them to get results better and faster.
I think the biggest lesson there is, Neil kind of alluded to this, it's don't try to play short-term games. And it's a big lesson for business. So it's really good for you to learn early in your career, or don't spend that much money on the site. You don't put your life savings into this thing, test a lot of different things, see what works, and then learn your lesson. And then you can actually start to learn real marketing and then learn how to build a real business. That's the biggest thing that we've learned, that short-term stuff has, at least for me, I don't know about you, Neil, short-term stuff, shortcuts have never, ever worked for me, no matter how much I've tried to make them work.
The only shortcuts that worked for me is hiring really good people who have done it before multiple times. I look at that as a shortcut, and that tends to get you the results quicker, but that tends to cost you a lot more money.
That's like a legit shortcut. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not really a shortcut. It's just being smart.
Yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you want to stay up to date each week with our curated newsletter, marketingschool.io/newsletter, it's completely free. And we will see you tomorrow.